Hey guys, welcome back to WebDevMentors YouTube channel, and you're watching Python tutorial series for beginners. So in this video, we're going to see about getting input values from the user. Now, if you take any language, any programming language, doesn't matter if it is Python or any other programming language, you have to find a way to get input values from the user. Writing a program with predefined values hard-coded into the program is not a nice way. It's not an appealing program. You have to write a program which gets values from the user dynamically and then applies various logic, creates some values or results, and then display it as an output for the user. That's what make it as an appealing program. Now that is what we're going to see now, how to get input or values from the user as an input. So I'm going to create a file, input_prog.py. I'm going to enter twice in order to give some space before starting my program so as to make it more readable. Now let's first create a variable in which we're going to capture the input from the user and save it into the variable. So the variable name is equal to input_value equal to, so this is the input, this is the input value variable that I'm going to use in order to capture my input from the user and then save it into that variable. Now, how to do this? How to get the value, how to get the input from the user? So Python gives you a very easy method for that. It's called as input. That's it. Now running this program, saving it, and running this program will make it possible for you to get the input from the user. Well, let's run it. Python run. Okay. But look at the console. It's empty. It's not showing anything. You know that the program is running. You know what you've written, so it's expecting an input. I know it because I've written the program. You know it because you've seen the program. But what about some user who doesn't know about programming, who doesn't have any background of programming? He will be like, what do I do? What do I do now? What is going on? So that is where you need some kind of prompt message. You can do it by one stupid way. Yes, it's a stupid way. Print it like enter something. So this is what happens when you take up other programming languages. You type that, take C for example, you use printf in order to print a line and then use scanf in order to get the value. But in Python, instead of writing two lines, I can actually embed that within the method itself. That's it. Now if I run it, it asks me enter something. So now I will type something, press enter, and you won't see anything. The program finished. The program came to an end. You can see that. Now the reason is I haven't printed it. I haven't done anything with the input that I'm getting. I'm just storing it inside a variable and the program ended. There's nothing happening after that. So now we're going to use a print method in order to print that value that we have got. Input_value. Now this will give the value that I'm giving, so it's going to print it out. So I'm going to run it, test. Well, it's working, but still the program looks so dumb. Anyone, even the worst programmer can understand this. Even the non-programmer can understand this program and can write it. It's so simple English. What to do? Let's do some crazy idiotic logic in it. Star 3, if you have already seen some of the videos of this series, you will understand what it can do. But let's see. Run it, test, enter. Sorry about that. It printed it 3 times in a single line, not in different line. Not like a line. It's not like printing a line, but it prints everything on a single line. I don't know how to say that anyway. Alright, so this is good. This is simple, this is basic, this is how you actually get the input from the user. Let's actually make it a little bit more complex. Let's get another value. So this is where we're going to specify how many times my previous value has to be printed. So it's actually times to print. Now here I'm going to use that variable. If you think it's going to work, it's going to run, it's going to give you the results, you're wrong. It has to give an error. So if it's not giving an error and it's working exactly the way you want it, it means that either you are drunk, or else the Python program is drunk, or else you're not programming in Python. Let's run it. Test. And I'm going to give the same 3 as value, enter, you're getting the error. This is because of the type error, which means that you're having an error in the data type. Let's actually read it and try to understand what kind of an error we get. Can't multiply a sequence by non-int of type str. So non-int is non-integer of type str, str is string. It's saying you cannot multiply a sequence with a non-integer value which is of type string. So we have to make sure that this times to be an integer. But now you'll have a question. Wait, you gave the value 3, which is an integer. Now Python, using input method, gets anything that you enter as string. So anything that is captured by input method from the user is going to be a string. You have to either use a typecasting method in order to convert that string into any data type that you want, or else do other something. Now that's something that has been handled by Python 2. Python 2 had something called as input and also another method called as raw input. But now Python 3 doesn't have raw input, but that functionality has been taken up by input, and Python 3 lost the actual input method that Python 2 had, which is to get the number as well. It's not going to get the string. If you want to give the value, like I'll run the program again, if you want to give the value as a string, you have to do this in Python 2 using the input method. Okay, 3. Now again, we will be having that error. Let's actually rectify it fast. You have to do the typecasting that I said before. So in order to do a typecasting, you have to convert the string into an integer. So that typecasting of string to integer can be done by using a method called integer of types. So if you have done programming in other programming languages where typecasting can be done, it'll be pretty much similar. So you might have seen something called as int of times, like this. So these are some ways of doing it, but in Python this is the easiest way. So let's run it. Now it has to run. If it's not running, again you're drunk, or else Python programming is drunk, or else you're not programming in Python. And 3. So it's working fine. So this is actual functionality. It's a very basic logic that we have applied to the input value that you're getting. So coming back to the raw input and input methods in Python 2, if you enter 3 as a value using a normal input method in Python 2, it will get it as an input of integer. So you can directly use it instead of typecasting and doing all those stuff. You can directly use it. But now you'll be having like, whoa, what happens if I want to get things as a string? Now that's where the raw input comes in for Python 2, which has the functionality of the input method that you're seeing in Python 3. So anything that you enter within the raw input field or raw input method, it's going to be a string no matter what you write, like 3, 10.0, or some number or some strings or some character. It's going to give it as a string. But in Python 3, that functionality is taken up by input, and input is no longer accepting integers, float as a value. Now you have to make sure that you handle the input values based on what you need. So if you need float value, you have to do the typecasting in order to convert the string to a float. You have to do it for the integer, you have to do it for the boolean as well, of course. So well, this actually covers what I have to cover. I also covered some part of typecasting. We will be covering the typecasting in brief, or else what do you call it, in complete explanation about typecasting in some other video. What most of the videos will be brief, not like an extended, the elastic explanation. I don't want to do that. Anyway guys, let's see in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button, and there is another button called the share button which will share this video to to your friends or family or whoever you think will be benefited by this video. Anyway guys, let's see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.